Hello, so I'm going to pull a few cards today. I guess I'm kind of going to do it, I wasn't going to, but I think I might do it like a pick a card actually. So yeah, I'm going to pull three sets. So think about what set you want to pick now, because I'm going to pull three. So 1, 2, 3, have a think about what you want, which set resonates with you. So if you want to have a think about it, pause it now, pause the video, because I'm going to go straight into set 1. Alright. Okay, Queen of Swords, 5 of Cups. Ten of Autumn. Reunion and make a choice. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Swords. So I feel like you're kind of moving, and we've got 5 of Cups here. So I think with the Queen of Swords, it's like you've had a lot of heartbreak recently, or maybe in the past year, and it's kind of like it's made you a bit hardened. So I think for some of you, like, hardening up has been a good thing. For people who have needed to set boundaries and things like that. For some of you, it may have made you a little bit too hard. So that could just be something to be aware of, is that there has been something that you've felt really that you've lost in the recent past, but now it's kind of like you've switched, which is a good thing, because obviously you've gotten over it now. I feel like you're in a time now where you've actually gotten over it, but just remember to not be too hardened by it. I think for some of you, you've just got to a place where it's like you've set boundaries and you're in a good place because you are setting boundaries and you're saying no to things that you don't want to do. But for some of you, you could have become too hardened, so that's just something to be aware of. So the 10 of Autumn, it says contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. So I feel like this is like a family related card as well. So I feel like you may have had to make a decision in the recent past that will benefit your family. So it's kind of like you could have put a stop to something, or you could have pushed some people out, or changed jobs or something. It's something that it was like you had to make that decision to benefit your family. So yeah, I feel like that is kind of coming to a bit of a full circle thing, where it's like you'll see the benefits now of the decision that you had to make. And so we've got reunion and make a choice. So I feel like with the make a choice, like that was the choice that you had previously made, and now you're seeing the reunion of what you expected the outcome to be. So it's like you're coming to a good time now of it coming full circle and letting down your guard a bit more now, because everything actually is kind of working out really good. So, and specifically for families, like if this relates to a family, looking after children and making sure everyone's taken care of and things like that, it's like that's all kind of coming to a settled place now. Alright, so I'm going to move into set 2. Let's see. Oop, I'm flying out. Okay, so we'll take all these ones. Okay, so we've got 2 of Cups, the Moon, and the Hanged One. Okay, so this is definitely to do with a relationship. So I feel like there has been a relationship around you where it's like somebody close to you, whether that be a romantic partnership or a family member or a friend or something like that. It's like you've seen another side of them, and it's like all your shadows have come out and all your demons have come out, and it's kind of like you've seen the dark side of this other person now, and what you kind of already knew was there, but it was like something's happened recently where that's just like come to the surface, and it's like all these demons are flying everywhere kind of thing. And it's made you pause and kind of reflect on the relationship and what your, how you should approach it, or even if it's, your own demons coming out. It's like this other person has seen the side of you where it's like, oh wow, like I had never seen that side of you before, which is not a bad thing, because it's like everybody's got demons, everybody's got shadows. That's not unusual for that. That's very normal. But it's like, I feel like it's a good relationship, but it's like this has been a big thing to overcome and work through, because you know everybody does have their own triggers and things like that, and so it's like sometimes specifically if you've got, you know, like soul contracts or karmic contracts and things like that, it's like your triggers are going to clash together. It's not like one person has a trigger and the other person's just like knows how to deal with it, you know. It's like it's quite often that two people's traumas and things like that will clash with each other, and then if the relationship is to move forward, it's like, well, then you've got to find a way to work through both of your traumas and triggers and things like that. So, and that's where I think that the Hanged One has come in. It's like you've needed to pause because you know that this is a relationship that's worth working through. So it's not like it was just a flimsy relationship where it's like, oh well, I don't actually really give a fuck anyway, you know what I mean? It's like this is a deep relationship where it's like it's made you do the work because you are committed to this person, and yeah, so it's kind of been a bit of a process for both people. So we've got the Eight of Summer, so it says you feel like there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. So I feel like I don't feel like the connection has been broken, because I know it says moving away from a situation, so some of you could be moving out of a relationship. Perhaps some of you may have possibly been with somebody and now you're realizing, you know, got maybe been around other people and realize, okay, I need to go back to that relationship and fix something there, or yeah, because I feel like you're figuring out now what makes you happy and what makes you tick, and what is important. And I do really feel like the inner work is so important right now, and that's something that you need to dive more into, because you know life can't be rainbows and butterflies all the time, you know what I mean? It's like that polarity of, you know, the yin and the yang kind of thing. It's like you can't have the light without the dark. So it's like you're kind of shifting your perspective, in that the darkness isn't something to just be like, I'm not dealing with that kind of thing. It's like that's something that you do have to deal with in life, you know. And the more you kind of deal with that and not just push it to the side, the more that you'll grow, and the more you'll be able to deal with those dark kind of things easier, because it's not something like hard emotions. You can't just push away hard emotions and not feel them, you know what I mean? It's like you need to move through those hard emotions, and then you'll come out better on the other side, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's, yeah, something that set 2 people might be going through at the moment. Alright, so we'll go on to set 3. Yep. Making a big mess. Okay, 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, and release. Okay, so we've got the 4 of Pentacles, we've got the 7 of Pentacles, and we've got the 9 of Swords. So I feel like there is something that you have been kind of holding on to. I do get more work with this, or possibly home life. So something you've been holding on to tightly, and it's like you kind of started something in the beginning, and you know, it could be like that you saved really hard, or you put a lot of work and effort into it and things like that, and you kind of held everything, you know, kept everything together really tight, and you've kind of watched it grow. But now you're in a position where it's kind of like you don't, like, why did I spend so much time and energy on this, you know, like, and I'm not too sure why the reason is that you're feeling like that, but it's like you've put a lot of time and effort into something, you've watched it grow, but now for some reason you're like, it's either not turned out the way that you thought it would, or you just feel like you might have wasted time, or you feel like it hasn't grown the way you thought it would have grown. And I think that's where the release comes in as well. So it's like maybe expectations, like, is a big thing, that you think something was going to work out a certain way and it hasn't. but you need to release control over that, because I think the control is where your problem is, you know, where the anxiety and despair and like kind of depression is kind of coming from, is that you've wanted to control it too much. So it says it's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So yeah, I feel like there's a bit of grieving here as well, because it's like something that you're kind of letting go of now has been a really long process. It's like, it's not just something that you've started in the last, you know, like couple of weeks. This has been something that has been, you've been kind of working at or trying to move forward for a good, you know, 1 to 2 years kind of thing. So to release it now and it have not worked out the way you thought it would have is quite, you know, a hard process. Like, there is something to grieve there, because it's, you put all this time and energy into it and it hasn't eventuated to what you thought it would. So that could be quite a hard kind of emotion that you're working through at the moment. Trying to control. And feel your feelings. Yeah, okay, so trying to control, that's what I just said. Trying to control the situation too much. So you do need to let go of the expectations of how you thought it would end up, because it's not doing you any good. Feel your feelings. So yeah, it's you got to feel all this stuff. So I mean, the grieving process is important. So you can't just be like, oh, okay, this doesn't matter, you know, and just on to the next thing kind of thing. You need to work through this process, that grieve this process that you have just been through over the last 1 to 2 years, because that is going to allow you to pick yourself up and move forward. Because if you don't feel these feelings, then they're going to come up later on, so you may as well deal with them now, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just going to put one more as well for the future. 2 of Spring. So your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist in your endeavors or expand the number of people helping you. So I feel like that's just kind of telling you that the last 1 to 2 years of what you've been working towards hasn't been a waste. That's been part of your process, you know, and for you to let go of it now, it's kind of like that was your lesson over the whole thing, like that you put so much time and effort into it. Now you're getting the lesson that all of that was to do with letting go and your ability to let go. So yeah, and I feel like there's great success coming for you in the future anyway. So yeah, interesting. It's been your lesson. Alright, so I hope that helps somebody. If you would like a personal reading done by me, then you can message me at hello@staceysadler.com. I do online written readings, and I'm also available in store for in-person readings. So yeah, I'll talk to you on the next reading.